Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zang here, and I'm finally back with another video for you guys. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, I have not been fair to you all since you guys hit 500 likes on the last video way in advance, but this past week has been super busy for me as final exams and final papers are, coming, mainly because I had a huge final history paper that I finally finished and handed in yesterday, so that was a really big relief. I do have a couple more exams and a paper to go, but none of them were nearly as big as this final history paper, so I should be able to bring you guys daily uploads again, provided you guys show enough support for it. As always, like this video if you enjoyed it. 500 likes is a requirement for daily uploads. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick apology and explanation, and thank you all in advance, and thank you really for continuing to support this channel and supporting really all my videos. I have some very exciting news to announce in really the next couple of weeks or so. I'll have a bunch of big announcements, so stay tuned for that. But enough about that, let's finally get into this battle. As you'll see, it's from the main international challenge. My 4 Pokemon, Zapdos, Miltank, Mega Lucario, and Talonflame, as you're probably aware of by now. My opponent, 1337, also known as Dingram, or DeVon, running Vaporeon, Charizard, Tyranitar, and Staraptor. He is really one of the best players in the country right now, in contention for a Worlds invite with 2 regional finishes, second place regional finishes this year. He got 2nd at US Nationals last year, got 10th at Worlds as a senior. First year as a Master now, he's really one of the top, if not, maybe the best, newly transitioned seniors to Masters players, so I knew I was in for a challenge when I ran into him. But let's get into this battle without spoiling much more. Anyway, when I saw team preview, I knew that he had some interesting Pokemon, Staraptor and Vaporeon mainly, but yeah, Staraptor was one I was scared of, so I knew I wouldn't want to lead with any Pokemon that I really needed to conserve for the match, which is why I led with Zapdos and Miltank. He goes with Staraptor and Tyranitar, and Staraptor gonna get the Intimidate off. Most Staraptors in VGC nowadays go for the final Gambit with Choice Scarf, and, try to pick up a knockout right away on a big threat, so I'm anticipating this. I know if he final Gambits the Zapdos, he won't have very much against this Miltank, but I'm fine with either Pokemon going down here. He does go for the final Gambit on Miltank, which is actually better than him targeting Zapdos, because Miltank is actually able to survive this. So he's going to actually faint with me still able to hang on. I actually did not anticipate that Miltank hanging on, so I go for the Thunder Wave. Would have probably went for the Milk Drink if I thought the turn through a bit more. However, I did go for the Thunder Wave because I'm expecting a Dragon Dance. I know if he Dragon Dances, I'll be able to paralyze him. If he Rock Slides, I set up the sub to reduce the damage. However, he does get the Dragon Dance up, and he does Lumberry, which was not what I was expecting, so kind of scared to see that because now he's got a +1 Tyranitar, and that's not good for me as my Miltank is going to faint here. So game is tied at 3-3, but he's got a +1 Tyranitar in both attack and speed, and you never want to face a boosted Tyranitar, especially if Zapdos is one of your 2 Pokemon. He brings out Charizard, and at this point I'm fully anticipating Charizard Y. I still associate Charizard with Charizard Y way more than X in Team Preview, which is a really big mistake of mine. I'm going to Mega Evolve, and I'm going to have Lucario. Now, since I do anticipate this Charizard to be Charizard Y, I just went for the Thunderbolt and Close Combat play, but he actually has Charizard X, which, as you'll probably anticipate, is not very good for me. But seeing that I got the Mega Evolution off before him, I assume that he's actually going to be slower than my Lucario, which is good for me, because it means I'll actually be able to knock out the Tyranitar. Granted, he does not protect. Surprisingly enough, he doesn't protect with Tyranitar, he just goes for the Rock Slide, and I do go for the Thunderbolt onto Charizard, but obviously because that is Charizard Y and not Charizard X, excuse me, the other way around, Charizard X and not Charizard Y, I'm not going to be able to do very much to it. However, Lucario is going to be able to pick up the KO on Tyranitar with this close combat, which is what I really needed, and which is what I was aiming for. Had he protected with Tyranitar there and just attacked my Lucario with a Fire-type attack, which he really should have done, given the fact that he had the Charizard X surprise up his sleeve, I would have been in a lot worse position because I basically had no way to deal with that Tyranitar. Instead, he actually targets Zapdos and loses Tyranitar, so that turn really couldn't have played much better for me because of, considering like he is running Charizard X and not Y. I do bring him down to his last 2 Pokemon, as his Charizard is, pretty severely damaged given the fact how much damage he took from the Thunderbolt and the Sandstorm and the Flare Blitz recoil. Now he brings in Vaporeon, and I feel very good about my position. I know Brave Bird's a KO onto that Charizard. He's going to protect with that Charizard, as Vaporeon actually protects too. I think if he wanted any chance of winning, he had to protect with one of the 2 and attack with the other, hoping that just would not pick up the KO there. And he does not go for a protect, well, he goes for the protect on both of his Pokemon, which is going to help me out a lot more. Now his chances of winning are severely lowered, as I can just Brave Bird the Charizard and Close Combat the Vaporeon. As you'll see here, my Choice Band Talonflame is going to get that priority Brave Bird off onto that Charizard, gonna be a KO there, and KOing really the bigger threat right now, and that's basically gonna seal up the game for me, honestly. Like I said, had he protected with Tyranitar and Flare Blitz my Lucario that turn, that would have been game over right there, since he would have had a Tyranitar to deal with my Talonflame and my Zapdos. Fortunately enough, even with the Charizard X gimmick on his side, I was able to manage to come out of that turn with the advantage, honestly. His Vaporeon is going to go for a Scald onto Talonflame, but at this point, Talonflame or Lucario could pick up the KO on Vaporeon the following turn. So, I'm going to be able to squeak out with a close 1-0 win. Once again, because he might have actually thought that I knew he had Charizard X, you know, that could have explained the play as to why he made the play he did. But I just knew that Tyranitar was the biggest threat that turn, which is why I just focused and went all in on it. When I saw the Charizard X, I thought the game was over, but the way that played out, ended up being okay for me. But hope you enjoyed that game. Of course, Dingram having some cool sets in Vaporeon and Final Gambit Staraptor. As always, Mega Lucario is pretty clutch for me. But leave a like if you enjoyed that battle, rate, comment, subscribe, of course, if you haven't already, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, peace, guys.